Look at this. Really look at it. Your brain is hardwired to hate the first image and love the second. For millions of years, biology has taught you that beautiful equals healthy. Symmetry is good genes. Vibrancy is vitality. And by that logic, this thing should be a genetic failure. It looks like a saber-toothed sausage. It is blind. It is hairless. It looks frail. Yet, while the beautiful creatures of this planet are fragile, prone to cancer, and constantly hunted, the ugly ones are virtually indestructible. The creature on your screen defies the laws of aging. It is immune to acid. It can survive without oxygen. It dominates its ecosystem. We think of ugliness as a mistake, a glitch in the code. But what if we're reading the code wrong? What if ugly is actually a strategy? A strategy so efficient that to understand it, we have to dismantle everything we know about attraction, survival, and why you might be running the wrong operating system. To understand the power of ugly, we first have to understand the price of pretty. In evolutionary biology, beauty is not an aesthetic, it is a tax. This is the handicap principle, proposed by biologist Amos Zahavi. It suggests that for a signal to be honest, for a peacock to prove to a female that he truly has superior genetics, the signal must be expensive. It has to be a burden. Those feathers require massive amounts of protein to grow. They make the bird heavy, they make it slow, they make it a neon sign for tigers. The peacock is saying, I am so genetically superior, I can survive despite this massive handicap. But there is a flaw in this system. If the environment changes, if food becomes scarce or predators get faster, the beauty tax becomes a death sentence. Enter the strategists of the repulsive. Take the turkey vulture. To us, its bald red head is the stuff of nightmares. It looks diseased. But this ugliness is actually a high-tech hygiene suit. A vulture makes its living neck-deep in rotting flesh. Feathers here would be a trap, catching bacteria, anthrax, and parasites. By evolving to be bald, by evolving to be ugly, the vulture stays clean. The sun's UV rays sterilize the bare skin. This is the first rule of the ugly advantage: efficiency. While the beautiful are burning calories to maintain their vanity projects, the ugly are minimizing maintenance costs. They aren't trying to impress you, they are trying to outlast you. But efficiency is just the warm-up act, because simply saving energy doesn't make you invincible. To become truly unbreakable, you have to do something much more radical. You have to fundamentally change how you interact with time itself. And this brings us back to our star, the naked mole rat. It stripped away its fur to save energy. It stripped away its eyesight because it lives underground. But this pursuit of efficiency created a deadly problem. When you live in a tunnel with hundreds of others, breathing the same stale air, you create a toxic gas chamber. A chamber that should kill them in minutes. So, how do they survive? They didn't just change their appearance, they changed their chemistry. A mouse lives about 2 or 3 years. A naked mole rat, which is roughly the same size, can live for 30 years. In human terms, that's like living to be 800 years old. Usually, nature demands a trade-off. You can either grow fast and reproduce, or you can live long and reproduce slowly. This is called the life history trade-off. But the mole rat cheated. They adopted a system usually reserved for insects, eusociality. Only one female, the queen, is allowed to look pretty enough to breed. The rest of the colony are sterile workers. Because the workers don't need to attract a mate, they don't need the biological machinery for beauty. This liberation from sexual competition allowed their bodies to reallocate resources to something else: cellular repair. Most mammals follow the Gompertz law of mortality. The risk of dying grows exponentially as you age. Naked mole rats defy this. Their risk of death doesn't rise with time. They possess negligible senescence. They don't really age. Their skin is baggy and wrinkled because it's packed with a super high molecular weight hyaluronan. It makes their skin elastic enough to squeeze through tunnels, but it also creates a cage around their cells that prevents tumors from growing. Think about the irony. We inject synthetic versions of this acid into our faces to look pretty and young. The mole rat produces it naturally, making it look ugly and baggy, yet it grants them the very immortality we are trying to fake. But living forever in a hole poses a different threat. The air down there is stagnant. The CO2 levels are so high they would induce panic attacks and acid burns in a human. If you or I were dropped into their colony, the acid in the air would burn our eyes and lungs. We would be in agonizing pain until we suffocated. But the mole rat doesn't just tough it out. To survive the environment that its ugliness created, it had to turn off a fundamental part of what makes an animal an animal. Pain is information. It's your body's way of saying, stop, you are being damaged. It is mediated by a neurotransmitter called substance P. Beautiful animals, complex, surface-dwelling animals, need high sensitivity. The naked mole rat has scrubbed substance P from its skin fibers. It is the only known vertebrate that feels no pain from acid or capsaicin. This is the final level of the ugly advantage, indifference. In a crowded, high-friction, toxic environment, feeling pain is a liability. If they felt the acid burn of their own air, they would live in constant torture. So they simply deleted the software. And this leads to the most disturbing part of their system, the coprophagy cycle. Because they are blind, and because they live in the dark, they cannot use visual signals to identify who is friend and who is foe. They don't use faces, they use waste. The queen produces hormones that are excreted in her waste. The workers eat this waste, and the hormones compel them to nurture the babies rather than attack them. It is a system built on everything we find repulsive: blindness, wrinkles, waste, painlessness. But the result is a creature that doesn't get cancer, doesn't age, and acts as a single, unified superorganism. While the beautiful surface dwellers are fighting wars over mates and dying of stress, the ugly underground dwellers are living in a painless, ageless state of cooperation. They won the game by refusing to play it. So, what does a hairless subterranean rat have to do with you? We currently live in a peacock economy. We are obsessed with signaling. We spend billions of dollars and billions of hours trying to smooth out our asymmetry, hide our aging, and present a facade of perfection. But biologically, your ugliness, your scars, your calluses, your aging, is the receipt of your survival. There is a concept in engineering called anti-fragility, things that gain strength from stress and disorder. Pretty is usually fragile, but ugly is anti-fragile. The callus on your hand is uglier than soft skin, but it allows you to work harder. The wrinkle is a breakdown of collagen, but it marks the passage of time you survived. The naked mole rat teaches us that if you optimize purely for how things look, you sacrifice how things work. You trade longevity for vanity. Nature doesn't care about your symmetry. Evolution doesn't select for the prettiest, it selects for the persistent. So the next time you look in the mirror and see a flaw, a blemish, or a sign of age, don't look at it as a failure. Look at it as an adaptation. You aren't getting ugly, you're getting efficient.